Don't linger and take your latte to go.
Less congregation with crowds, probably a good call for now.
The big move from Starbucks today to help fight the spread of the coronavirus as Americans are being called on to keep their distance.
You should really think twice before putting yourself in a situation where you're in a crowded place.
In the last couple of hours, the CDC recommended canceling events with 50 or more people for the next 8 weeks. It is the latest effort to enforce social distancing to fight the coronavirus. And here in Washington, the number of confirmed cases continues to climb. Tonight, there were at least 772 cases and 42 deaths across the state. New at 6:30, major steps forward to help stop the coronavirus. A virus vaccine trial for this virus is now set to start in Seattle tomorrow. The first participant is set to get the experimental vaccine at Kaiser Permanente's Washington Health Research Institute. They are testing a drug made by Moderna, a Massachusetts-based company. But don't expect a vaccine to roll out anytime soon to the public. It's expected to take at least a year. Our team coverage starts with KIRO 7's Ryan Sims, who is outside a Starbucks tonight. And Ryan, the Seattle-based coffee giant announced some big changes today to help fight coronavirus.
That is right, and you'll be able to spot these changes before you even go into a store. Take a look at the patio section here. All the furniture, everything has been cleared out. They even just took down the umbrellas here. Inside the store, you can see that the furniture in there is stacked, so the message is clear. They really don't want people potentially with coronavirus hanging around any of the stores for Starbucks. At Starbucks, the new rules are simple. Starting immediately, you walk into a store, get your coffee, and you leave. That'll be the case at every store in the country for at least the next 2 weeks.
I don't think it's going to affect a lot of people. As long as you can get your coffee, that doesn't matter. You can hang out other places.
For now, every store is shifting to a to-go model, meaning nobody is allowed to sit inside a store and simply relax.
But I think in general, just less congregation with crowds, probably a good call for now.
Customers will also notice plenty of closures here in Western Washington. We're told Starbucks shutting down many stores temporarily here in the Seattle area. The exact number is still not known, but customers tell us this is yet another worrying sign of the economic impact of coronavirus.
We all want everybody to be safe and as healthy as possible, so if that's what they need to do to keep everybody in the state of Washington, specifically Seattle, safe, I think they're doing the right thing.
I'd like to see everybody feel safe and feel like they can hang out at their local Starbucks without getting sick.
Obviously, this impacts a lot of employees here in Western Washington. How many still hasn't been said. Today, Starbucks said all impacted employees will either be sent to other stores or they'll receive emergency pay. And back live once again, this is another example of the impact. Store hours that are being reduced. You can see it's just closed about 30 minutes ago. It was supposed to close in an hour. So even the stores that are open are still really seeing a tremendous response from the coronavirus. Talking about which stores will actually be closed these next few weeks, that remains to be seen. But we are told that many of the stores will likely be in high impact areas with a lot of customer traffic. We're live in Seattle tonight. Ryan Sims, KIRO 7 News.
Thanks, Ryan. And the coronavirus continues to impact the local sports world. Today, the Seattle Sounders announced a member of the team's support staff has tested positive. The team says that the employee is in isolation and that no other cases have been identified. The Major League Soccer season is currently under a 30-day suspension due to the outbreak. KIRO 7 Sports Director Chris Francis will have the latest on this developing story ahead in sports. A Washington emergency room doctor is in critical condition tonight with a confirmed case of COVID-19. Evergreen Hospital tells KIRO 7 that he is one of their physicians. The facility has handled a number of cases from the Life Care Center in Kirkland, the epicenter of Washington's outbreak. A statement from the American College of Emergency Physicians says that the doctor and the hospital followed proper procedures. We do not know right now if the doctor was exposed at work or elsewhere. The coronavirus has turned up at Seattle's iconic Pike Place Market. A community member there has tested positive. Market officials say they learned about it yesterday. They informed public health officials and began a deep cleaning. KIRO 7's Deborah Horn is live for us tonight in Seattle. And Deborah, they say this person was in a place that is off limits to the public.
In fact, Lindsay, they say they won't tell us where that place is. And I have to tell you, if we didn't know what had happened, we wouldn't know it based on what was happening here. But the fact that someone tested positive was news to many of the people we talked to. It looked like a typical Sunday at this most Seattle of places. The music, the fish still flying through the air. But now the Pike Place Market is feeling the effects of the coronavirus. A person being called only a community member tested positive.
So it was in a very contained area, which is really great, being the Pike Place Market.
The market's executive director says they immediately informed those who might have been in close contact, and they deep cleaned the area. Is anybody still in the area that you had to deep clean?
No, not at all. No.
And this area that had to be deep cleaned, is it a place that most of us would go through as we walk through the market?
None of you would. None of you would. We have lots of different places here that a lot of different people type to go, but the public would never be in these areas.
The market is still open, and new wash stations have been installed. This worker says his employer gave him the option to stay away, but he came to work anyway.
I used to work as a nurse, so it's a little different. Like, I'm pretty well read in the matter, and it's not really affecting me.
Still, most visitors here did not know about the positive test until we told them. Does it give you concern being out and about?
We're going to take all the precautions that we can, wash our hands, be very careful, try to keep some social distance, and still live our lives.
No, I haven't changed any behaviors yet. I mean, I'm trying to pay attention if I think people are sick, but I haven't seen, and heard people coughing or sniffling.
Now, the person who tested positive as well as those who came into contact with that person are now self-quarantined, but the Pike Place Market tells us they remain open. But they are asking people to keep a distance, but not as many people as there usually are, so that is a little bit easier, and to wash one's hands. Of course, those are all things all of us are being told to do as well. Reporting live in Seattle, Deborah Horn, KARO 7 News.
Thanks, Deborah. And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released new guidance today to help fight the fast-moving coronavirus pandemic. It is a step up from what you have already been hearing about social distancing, along with recommending that people cancel events with more than 50 people. They also say gatherings of any size should be reconsidered unless organizers can protect vulnerable people.
Myself personally, I wouldn't go to a restaurant. I just wouldn't, because I don't want to be in a crowded place. I have an important job to do. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm going to be all of a sudden self-isolating for 14 days.
That is a top health expert saying that. The CDC says that the new guidance applies to festivals, parades, concerts, sporting events, and even weddings. Here in Washington, many of those events have already been canceled as part of the ongoing efforts to stop the spread of the virus. There are now more than 3,200 confirmed cases of coronavirus across the country tonight, and health experts say that is expected to keep rising as the virus spreads. Looking at the spread of the coronavirus around the world, so far more than 162,000 people have been infected and more than 6,000 have died, but at least 75,000 have recovered from the virus. Tomorrow, all schools will shut down across Washington. Many already have. Governor Jay Inslee's statewide closure is in effect until April 24th. But some help is coming. Starting tomorrow, Seattle students can pick up lunch for free or at a reduced price at 26 different sites. In Tacoma, a drive-through service is set up at middle schools, and Everett Public Schools is planning meal pickup at 28 sites with orders placed the day before. Remember, if you have coronavirus-related questions, a Washington call center is ready to help. Call the number there on your screen, 1-800-525-0127.